Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have some time and you might recognize this top. So this is the second makeup look video I filmed today. I filmed like a pastel, another attempt at a pastel eye look where I had both eyes looking a little different, and then I went and I kind of cleaned the house. And then, I don't know if anyone else gets like this, but after you clean the house, like you just feel gross and sweaty and dirty. So then I went and had a shower, and then I was like, oh, I might as well film another makeup video because my face is clean again. So today I thought I would film a shop my stash kind of video where I picked out a bunch of stuff that is either forgotten makeup or just makeup that like I've never actually tried super randomly. I discovered a lot of it when I was doing my... what were they? My collection and declutter that I just did. So we're gonna jump straight into it. So first things first, my face is super dry right now. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just have the driest skin. So I wasn't originally gonna use this, but we are gonna use a moisturizing primer. So this is the Pure Correcting Primer Hydrate and Balance. It is oil-free, so I would guess it would be okay for somebody who had more oily skin, but for somebody with dry skin like me, it is so nice. It has this kind of like cooling effect. It reminds me quite a bit of the Smashbox Hydrating Photo Finish Primer, which they discontinued, which like broke my heart. It's a little sticky because it is like a gel kind of form, like it just sticks a little bit, but it kind of dries down okay. It's got a really nice cooling effect. I can just feel my skin soaking it up. It gives your skin like a nice little like bounce to it. So I've got a couple other primers we're going to use today as well. So the first one is this Burberry Fresh Glow Luminous Fluid Base. I'm going to be honest with you guys, when I got this, I thought it was an eyeshadow base or like a liquid eyeshadow. Turns out I was very, very wrong. It is a like face primer. I just have like a little one because I got it as a set at Sephora. So it's supposed to be like a glowy kind of a base. So we're going to give it a shot today. I'm going to, do I have a mirror in this palette? Fingers crossed. Nope. Alright, give me a minute. I gotta find a palette with a mirror. As per usual, I dug deep and got my Too Faced Just Peachy Matte palettes. This is not the palette we're gonna play with today, but it's got a nice size mirror. So I'm just going to put this on. Now, I tried a glowy primer earlier today, and I didn't find it that glowy. This looks quite glowy, quite like, especially if you look at this side compared to this side. Like, this side's got a little glow just because of that moisturizing primer. But this is, like, even on my hands, you can kind of see, like, that is very, very glowy. Would I pay full price for a larger size of this? I don't really know. I've never heard anything about this, good or bad. It's nice. It does give a very nice glow, very glowy effect to the skin. We're just gonna have to see, I guess, how foundation sits on it. I'm also going to be using my Porefessional Hydrate Primer. I don't like the original Porefessional. I find it too thick, and the pearl one kind of like seems silly to me. Like, you're using it to fill your pores. Why do you need them to be luminescent and pearly? But this one I really like. It's got a thinner consistency. It's got a little bit of moisture in it, unlike the other one where it's like, I would find that a lot of makeup would like cling to the dryness of the original Porefessional. So it's nice that this one's got like a bit of hydration in it, so makeup doesn't cling to it quite as well. Also, forgive my like baby hairs and my like, I just dried my hair with a hairdryer, so it's being difficult right now. So now that we've got our face all primed and I'm still really red and splotchy, we're going to go in with the Bourjois City Radiance Skin Protecting Foundation Brightening Effect. I have mine in 04 Beige. So this is supposed to protect you. It's an anti-pollution screen, radiance boosting, and 24-hour hydration. I don't think there's SPF in this, but whatever. Oh, actually, before we go in with this, I totally forgot I wanted to play with this today as well. I haven't used it in a while. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. It's like, I think it could be a foundation, but it's more of like a pre-foundation to me. So I have the shade Light Medium. So it just comes on like a doe's foot. And do you see what I mean? Like, it's got, I'll blend it out in about 2 seconds with a sponge. It's got like a tint to it, but like there's not a ton of coverage to it, if you know what I mean. And it also is super duper glowy. yeah, like it kind of blends out into just this super, super glowy kind of a look. I like it. I love it, but it's not enough for me today to go about my life because I've got some serious breakout. But I just upped my glow factor like significantly just with a little bit of that. Now we're going to go in with that Bourjois foundation. So I'm just putting a little bit of it into like my palette. This is a little dark. I realized that like I've been fake tan for so long that like all my foundation is in what other people would call summer shades. Because that's the color I am like all year round. So like it is, most of my, 90% of my foundation is like too dark for me, which is fine. It just means that I need to really carry it down on my neck and like really get up into my hairline, or you're definitely gonna see that like stark line, which is hilarious. That's always my favorite, is like, I don't know if other like people that are obsessed with makeup are like this, and I try not to be, and I never say anything to anybody except Tom. Not because, okay, anyway, let me finish this before you start thinking Tom wears makeup. If I go out and I see a girl that's like made like a serious makeup faux pas, and I don't mean that like they've gone with a look that's crazy and bold that I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing, because there's a difference between you know, putting your own flair and putting your own style on it to like actually really being bad with makeup. I'm talking like, and this is something that I was so guilty of for so long, I'm talking about not carrying your foundation down. So like girls will put their foundation here, but they'll never look up. So under their neck even, like under their chin is a different color. You know, you can just see that drastic line. I am super judgy of that. Again, I never say anything to people, but like if Tom and I are out somewhere, I'll be like, oh my God, did you see this? And he'll like, I don't know, tolerate me talking bad about people. Like, I don't want you guys to think that I'm like super judgy and talk about people, but like, just as somebody who has taken a lot of time in my life to try and get good at makeup, and try and break a lot of those bad habits that we all have, it just always makes me laugh to see people that do that. People were probably laughing at me for years before I figured it out. So it's just a really light coverage foundation. It's not super heavy. It's not matte. It's not dewy. It honestly just melts right into the skin. It's just gorgeous. And I never, ever hear anybody talk about this foundation. So, just saying. Now we're going to go in with this Catrice Camouflage Cream. It's like an under eye brightener. I honestly forgot that this existed. It's super thick and sticky, but it's got this like really pretty like peachy pink kind of color that I just think will cancel out a lot of the redness that I have going on. Now having said that, it's got some interesting like hard bumps in it, which is concerning. Yeah, it says this is only good for 6 months, and it's probably, I don't know if it's older than 6 months old. When was I going shopping? I don't even remember anymore. The texture is not ideal, but it's such an inexpensive product that I'm not too worried about it. I've also got my MAC, what is this called? Studio Finish Concealer SPF 35. This is in NW20. I normally use my NARS soft matte concealer, but like I said, I wanted to give some of the products that I like never use an opportunity. And I think the problem that I always had with this was like when I learned to use this product, I used to put it on with a brush, and I found that it was very heavy and very cakey, but I can see just in like tapping it on with a damp beauty blender and just picking up a little bit of product, it has done a really, really great job covering a lot of that darkness I had under my eyes. I'm really happy with that. And another MAC product I never ever use anymore because the pump sucks. We'll use my MAC Pro Longwear concealer. I don't like it because if this had a doe's foot, that would be amazing. MAC, you should think about that. Think about repackaging this. It's like one of their best products that you can get, but it's such a pain in the butt to use because it's so hard to get exactly how much you need, right? Because the pump is so finicky. It's like if you just would put it on a doe's foot, I might use it a lot more often. So just put that there, and then same thing, just going with the beauty blender and tap it down. It's a super, super full coverage concealer. So if you're having a day where you need some heavy, heavy duty concealing like I am today, that might be one for you to check out. And weirdly enough, and I've mentioned this recently, Don't drop those, by the way. I only say that. Ugh. I just did drop it. I have dropped one of these before on tile and it shattered because it is in a glass container. Also, MAC, if you could put it in plastic, that would be great. I'd feel more confident traveling with it. I was saying recently that like I used to think MAC was so expensive, like so like ridiculously expensive. And now that I buy other brands of makeup, I'm like, no, it isn't. It's kind of mid-range cost. I'm just using my Becca Hydra-Mist, whatever perfecting this is. I just used this in my other video too, but honestly, I don't have that many setting powders and I'm trying to use this one up. So that's why I'm using it constantly. It's not because I love it. It's not because, well, I do like it a lot. It's not because it's my favorite. It's not because I'm, you know, trying to decide if I like it. I do enjoy it. The bigger thing is that I'm just trying to use this up. For a bronzer today, we are going to be using a MAC bronzing powder. This is my MAC Matte Bronze. This is like my OG favorite bronzing powder. It is super dark, very pigmented, so I'm gonna have to be really careful here because I am particularly light right now, and it does sometimes pull a little orangier than I would like it to. Not quite as bad as the other MAC bronzer that I used to use, which was Give Me Sun. It was a mineralized bronzer, and it was like orange. It was ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking. Just kind of buff that all over for a really light glow. Just like that. Little bit goes a long way with that product. Also, just realized I hadn't done my brows yet, so I'll just use my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Again, not because I'm trying to decide if I like it, but I don't have that many brow pencils and I haven't used this one in a little while, so seems like a good call. I have the shade 2.5. Something I just noticed is that this pulls quite a bit more red than I realized. It looks okay from far away, but up close it is a little bit red. That's something for me, I guess, to be aware of. For blush, I decided I wanted to play with one of my Kylie blushes. I really don't use these all that often. I have these 3 shades here. So I have Rosy, Pink Power, and Close to Perfect. I think we're gonna use Close to Perfect. It's just a very neutral blush, and this is also just because I'm not 100% sure where my eyes are gonna end up today. So safer to do something light and very natural looking, a natural flush, than do anything too crazy. I really like these blushes. They're very pigmented, very buildable, very soft. They do kick up a ton of powder though, so just be aware of that. And for a bit of a highlighter today, again, another product that I totally forgot about, which is crazy because I like talk about how much I love these all the time. This is my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Show Gold. It's just gorgeous. It's like this gold that shifts to like this pink, but it's not like a real gold. It's like a peachy kind of gold. It's just gorgeous. Like, do you guys see that? I'm really hoping it's picking up on camera. It's so nice. I've had this for a very long time. I think I have all of the skin finishes, if I'm not mistaken. I just love them. And the other thing I wanted to play with today, again, just because I never do, I have this MAC Trip the Light Fantastic Powder. This is in Luna Luster. You can't get these anymore. This came out in the Star Trek collection. I just kind of wanted to see if this would have a similar all over the face glow effect, much like my Hourglass dim light. And it kind of does. Now, I picked the lightest one I had. I do have 2 darker shades as well. That could go as more of like a bronzer or a blush, but I picked the lightest shade. So that is the face pretty much done. Let's get into some eyes. Again, I don't really have a lot of eyeshadow primers that I don't. Well, no, the ones that I have that I don't like, I got rid of. I really only use my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. It is my favorite one. And then this way too, because I know that this stuff performs well, I'm always easy to very quickly tell if an eyeshadow performs well, because if it sits funny on this, it's gonna sit weird on like everything. This stuff works with every eyeshadow. It has never failed me. It is my favorite. If you're gonna get like honestly one thing from MAC, I would almost highly recommend this. It is so good. So the palette I'm going to be playing with today was kind of a request. I can't remember who asked me to do it. Somebody asked me to play with the Alamar Reina Del Caribe palette, and honestly, every declutter I do, I end up holding on to it because the palette, the quality of the shadows are amazing, but there's not a ton of color range here. So we're going to see what we can do with this today. I'm thinking, I'm thinking I kind of want to play with like this yellowy color, the browns, and then get into some of these shimmers, kind of avoid touching these two, maybe get into a little of the orange, but we're gonna kind of just see how the buildup goes. I can see that I need to clean all my brushes again. It's been a little while. So first things first, we're gonna take that Cocoa Taxi color. That's that kind of like tan, mustardy color. I'm gonna zoom you guys in for this part. Hello. So you can see what I'm doing if you care. And I'm just gonna buff that all in the crease. That's a really pretty color. It's like a light toasty sort of a color. It's not picking up a ton, like it's not the most pigmented thing I've ever seen in my life, but it is really nice. Okay, now let's go in with the darker brown color in Cafecito. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these, like butchering them really bad. So I am actually going to put that all in the crease as well. It's pretty deep in my crease, more down on the lid area, just like that. Kind of like that. I think that looks nice. I changed my mind. We are going to take a little itty bit of that Tropico color, that like dark burnt orange, just like the littlest bit, and just sort of buff it in there. Just the smallest bit. I don't want a ton. I just want a little itty bit. Oh, that's a lot. That's okay. This is super pigmented. It's funny because that first color I struggled with a lot, and then the other two were like really quick to give me the color I wanted. Okay, now we're gonna go into these shimmery shades. I wanna put, I wanna use them all. Like I really wanna see how these are. I know how the mattes are gonna perform, so I don't need that pinky one. I really wanna see what these shimmers are gonna do. So, let's take Celia, which is this like aqua kind of color. I'm going to pick up some of that. So it looks like it picks up okay on a brush. Could be really good. We're going to put that a little higher in the crease. There we go. Oh my goodness. Do you guys see that color? Really showing up now. For a minute I was thinking it wasn't going to, and then it all of a sudden just popped out of nowhere. Holy, that is gorgeous. This is why I do these videos, because I'm like, why don't I use this palette? That is so pretty. Do you see that? Okay, let's go in with some of the blue, which is Veradero. And I just want to put that more on the outside. Those look really cool blended together. They turn into like this turquoise. It's so pretty. Do you see that? I am still staying up in my crease just because I'm leaving the lid for that other greeny kind of color. Whoopsies, I got a little out of hand on that eye, so I'm just going to take a clean brush and kind of buff that out. I got a little too pumped up about it. Okay, now I'm going to take El Malecon, whatever, this color here. We're going to put that kind of all over. That's so pretty. Ooh, why don't I use this palette? Put that all over the lid. Holy. Do you see that? These shimmers are insane. They apply really nicely with a brush. I'm shocked, but then you put them on with your finger and they're so intense. So now let's take La Costa. That's that really, really nice champagne color. And I'm just going to pop that into my inner corner. Right there. Now, underneath my eye, let's take a bit of that Cocoa Taxi color. That was that first color we used, and I want to bring some of that under. All the way under. And then I'm going to pick up some of the Cafecito, which is that dark brown, and put that more in the outer corner. Wow! Oh, I really like this palette. Whoever asked me to use this, I'm going to find your name. Thank you so much for like requesting that I use this, because I have been missing out, because I always look at this palette and I'm like, it's kind of boring. Like there's only so many things you could do, but like that is super cool. It looks cooler from far away than it does up close, but I'm really into this. So I was gonna line with, no, we're gonna go, do I want to line with black or with brown? We're gonna go black. So I've got my Fenty Beauty Flyliner, and I'm just gonna try for a nice thin line. Sweet. Okay, so I am noticing a ton of glitter fallout on my face, just as like an FYI. Not a big deal, but it is there, just so you guys know. So for mascara, I decided to use my Hank and Henry, I can never remember what this is called, but it's in the shade Clout. Oh, Slick With It Mascara Duo. So it's got like this teensy weensy tiny end on it, which is really, really good for getting your bottom lashes. And then it's got sort of like a normal wand on the other side. I would call this pretty standard. And it's really good for like giving your upper lashes. It's not super volumizing. It's not super lengthening. It's just a nice mascara. If you like a bit more volume, you might want to go with something like L'Oreal Lash Paradise or Better Than Sex, something like that. For lips today, I thought I would play with, again, some lipsticks that I have but I never really use. I have a little bit of fallout of mascara. I'm going to wait till it dries. So I've got two of these Too Faced, what are these called? I don't even know. Peach Perfect lipsticks. So I have one in the shade Bridezilla, which is like a pink, but I think we're going to do Sunday Fun Day, which is more of like a toned down nude. The other reason I'm using these is because they are moisturizing and my lips are really dry. Just like that. And then really quickly, again, this is something I talked about constantly but I never use. We're going to use one of these Diamond Crushers. So I've got the shade Fluke and I'm going to just pop that over top. Just like that. So it definitely gives you some shine. It almost looks like foiling, like when foil starts to crack. It has a little bit of that effect. It's definitely separating some of the lipstick, but like from far away, again, it looks really nice. It's just kind of close up that you're like, what did you do? So again, take with that what you will. For setting spray today, we are going to use my Cover FX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. This is just a small bottle that I bought at one point in time. I like it because it has a ball in it and that makes me happy. So I'm going to call that look done. I rediscovered a love for a lot of products. One being that palette, which I am super, super happy with how that eye look turned out. It's a little out there for me while still being reined in enough to be like wearable. So I think that the thing is I use so much glowy stuff before I put on my foundation that I can't tell if I'm glowy because of the primer, because of the Charlotte Tilbury like Flawless Filter, or because of that Trip the Light powder I put on, but I am very, very glowy and healthy looking right now. Overall, I'm really, really happy with the way this look came out, and it was a ton of fun going through my collection. So if you like these kind of videos and you want to be involved in a Shop My Stash, start commenting down below. Let me know what products you want. Like I said, if I haven't already, I'll put the name of whoever asked me to play with this down below, like right here kind of thing. Thank you to that person. I will always try and make sure like I shout out whoever asked me to use certain things. If you've been paying attention to my collection videos and there's certain products that you're like, I really want to see that use, or you want me to challenge myself or whatever, let me know down below. These videos are super fun for me to film and I really enjoy hearing from you guys. So comment down below, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time.